All right, hi guys. So previously we learned how to solve system of equations by graphing and then by substitution. Now we're learning the elimination method. So your essential question is, why does the elimination method work when solving a system of equations? Please write that down. Also write down these little tips. All right, so first you're going to want to look for the terms to cancel each other out. So you're looking for opposites. All right, then you're going to multiply to get terms to cancel out if there's not already opposites. And then after that, you're going to add the equations together. They're going to make a little more sense when we actually get started. All right, here is example 1. Go ahead and write this down. All right, so our first step is we are looking for opposites. So 2x and x are not opposites, but y and negative y are opposites. So now we can go ahead and add our equations together. Make sure your x values and your y values are lined up. All right, so 7 plus 2 is going to be 9. Y minus y is 0, so it's going to cancel out. And then x plus 2x is going to be 3x. Now we're just going to solve for x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So x equals 3. Now, once again, we need our x and our y values, so we're just going to plug this back into one of our equations. And just do the top one. So I'm going to have x plus, wrong one. 3 plus y equals 7. Subtract 3 from both sides. Y equals 4. Now we can write our answer as an ordered pair. So we have 3, 4. All right, go ahead and try both of these on your own. Pause the video, please, and start it back up when most students are finished. Should take around 5 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and go over these. So part A, once again, we are looking for opposites. So 2x and negative x are not opposites, but negative 4y and positive 4y are opposites. So we can go ahead and add our equations up, and everything's lined up already. All right, so 2 plus 3 is 5. Our 4y's are going to cancel. 2x minus x is going to be just x. So we have x equals 5. Now we're plugging this back into either equation. I'm going to choose the top equation. So we have 2 times 5 minus 4y equals 2. Go ahead and simplify. 2 times 5 is 10. Minus 4y equals 2. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 10 from both sides. So we have negative 4y equals a negative 8. Divide both sides by 4. Negative 4, sorry. So y equals 2. Now we can write our answers in ordered pair. 5, 2. All right, now let's look at B. All right, so once again, we are looking for opposites. So 2x and negative 2x are opposites. X's are lined up, y's are lined up, so I can go ahead and add my equations together. 1 minus 6 is going to be negative 5. 3y plus 2y is going to be 5y. And then our 2x's are canceling each other out. I'm going to go ahead and solve for y. Divide both sides by 5. So y equals negative 1. Now I need to solve for x, so I'm going to plug this back into either equation. I'll just do the top one. So we have 2x plus 3 times negative 1 equals 1. We can simplify. So we have 2x minus 3 equals 1. Add 3 to both sides. Divide 2 on both sides. And x equals 2. So our ordered pair would be 2, negative 1. All right, example 2. All right, so we are looking for opposites. So x and 2x are not opposites, and 3y and 2y are also not opposites. So if we run into this problem, that's when we need to multiply either one of the equations or both of the equations to get something to be the opposite. So I could try to get this 3 to be the opposite of 2. I could try to get this 2 to be the opposite of x. It's up to you, you can decide. So I'm going to try to get these to be opposites. So to get x the opposite of 2x, I would have to multiply by a negative 2, because I want this to look like this right here. But I can't just multiply the x by negative 2. I have to multiply the entire equation by negative 2. Because then otherwise you're changing the entire equation. But if you multiply to every single term, it's not changing the equation. It's still going to be an equivalent equation. So I'm multiplying every term by negative 2. All right, so now my equation, I'll write it down here, is going to be a negative 2x. Negative 2 times a negative 3y is a negative 6y. Negative 2 times 7 is going to be negative 14. All right, and then I have opposites. 2x and negative 2x are opposites, so now I can add my equation. All right, 6 minus 14 is going to be negative 8. 2y minus 6y is going to be negative 4y. And then our 2x's cancel. I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 4. So we have y equals 2. Plug it back into either equation. I'll do the top equation. So I have x plus 3 times 2 equals 7. X plus 6 equals 7. Subtract 6 from both sides. So we have x equals 1. So our ordered pair would be 1, 2. All right, go ahead and write down both of these problems. And when most students are finished, please start up the video again. Shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and solve these. All right, so once again, we don't see any opposites here, so we have to multiply one or both equations. It would be easier just to multiply this equation by negative 2, so then we can get these to be opposites. But since we did that in the last equation, or the last problem, I'm going to go ahead and do something different. If you didn't do that, it's fine as long as you still got the same answer, but I just want to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make these two opposites. So if I multiply this first equation by 5, and I multiply this second equation by a positive 2, then I'm going to get these to be opposites. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. So I'm going to have 5x plus 10y equals 20. And for the second equation, I'm going to have 4x minus 10y equals negative 2. And then if we go ahead and look, 10y and negative 10y are opposites. So now we can go ahead and add our equations together. And everything's all lined up for us. All right, so 20 minus 2 is going to be 18. And then 5x plus 4x is going to be 9x. All right, I'm solving for x. I'm going to divide both sides by 9. X equals 2. All right, now I need to solve for y, replacing this x with 2. So we're going to have 2 plus 2y equals 4. I'm going to subtract both sides by 2. So we have 2y equals 2, divide both sides by 2 now, and we're going to have y equals 1. So our ordered pair is 2, 1. All right, now for B. All right, so once again, we could multiply our x by a negative 2, but I'm going to show you something different so you can see more than one option. So I'm going to try to make these two opposites right here. So I'm going to multiply this top equation by 2. So then this becomes a positive 2, and it's opposites with a negative 2. All right, so we're going to have 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times y is 2y. And 2 times 2 is 4. All right, and then if we look, negative 2y and 2y are opposites, so now we can add our equations together. 2y's cancel. We have 5x equals a negative 1. Go ahead and divide both sides by 5. So we have x equals a negative 1/5. Then we're going to go ahead and replace x in one of the equations. I'm going to go ahead and use the second equation this time. So this one right here. All right, so I'm going to have a negative 1/5 minus 2y equals negative 5. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add 1/5 to both sides. I'm going to get a negative 2y equals a negative 4 4/5. And I'm going to change that negative 4 4/5 into an improper fraction just because I see that I'm going to be dividing over here. All right, so we're going to have negative 2y equals 4 times 5 is 20 plus 4 is 24, so a negative 24/5. All right, and dividing both sides by 2. If we divide by 2, it's the same as multiplying by 1/2 and negative. So we're going to have y equals a negative 24/10. If you guys left it as a mixed number, that's also fine. And then we would just want to simplify. So I can divide top and bottom by 2. So we'd have negative 12/5. All right, so our ordered pair would be a negative 1/5, comma, negative 12/5. All right, so we'll go over those word problems tomorrow. All right, example 4. Please go ahead and write this down. All right, so we have a few things that are different here. We don't have any opposites, and also our equations are not in the same order, okay? Because we want our x values lined up and our y values lined up. So that means we're going to have to rearrange one of the equations. So let's go ahead and rearrange it so it looks like this. So we have our x value and then our y value equal to our number. All right, so to rearrange, we're going to rearrange this top equation right here. If we want x and y on the same side, I'm going to get rid of x. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So now I'm going to have 13 equals, and then x is first in the other equation, so I'll have negative x plus y. So now I'm going to go ahead and write that underneath the other equation. All right, so our equations are in the same order, but we still don't have opposites. So I'm going to go ahead and make these two opposites. You could also make these two opposites. It doesn't matter as long as you're doing the steps correctly. You're going to end up with the same answer. All right, so if I want these two to be opposites, I'm going to multiply the bottom equation, or the orange equation, by negative 7. And we're multiplying the entire equation. All right, so negative 7 times a negative x is going to be a positive 7x. Negative 7 times y is a negative 7y. And then negative 7 times 13. Give me a second on that one. Seven times 13. 91. And it's going to be negative. All right, I'm going to bring this equation down so they're lined up. So we have 2x plus 7y equals 10. All right, so now we have opposites, so we can go ahead and add our equations together. So negative 91 plus 10 is going to be a negative 81. our 7's y's are going to cancel. 7x plus 2x is going to be 9x. You can go ahead and divide both sides by 9. And we're going to get x equals a negative 9. And then once again, you are plugging in back into one of the equations. I'm going to use the first one. So we're going to have y equals negative 9 plus 13. So y equals positive 4, sorry. And our ordered pair is going to be negative 9, comma 4. All right. Same example 4, but part B. All right, so this time our equation is lined up correctly. Awesome. But we don't have any opposites. So we're either going to need to make these x's opposites or these y's opposites. I think it's going to be easier to make these opposites. So I'm going to go ahead and make one of them positive 8y and one of them negative 8y. I'll make the top one a positive 8y. All right, so to make a positive 8y, I'm going to have to multiply by a negative 4 right here. So multiplying the top one by negative 4. So we're going to have negative 32x plus 8y equals a positive 32. All right, and then if I look at this equation right here, I want this to be a negative 8y. So I'm going to multiply by just 2. So we're going to have 10x minus 8y equals, and then 17 times 2 is 34. All right, now we're adding them together because we have the 8y's as opposites. All right, 8y's cancel. 32 plus 34 is going to be 66. And then negative 32x plus 10x is going to be negative 22x. You can go ahead and divide both sides by negative 22. And x equals negative 3. Once again, we're plugging that back in so we can find the y value. I'll just plug it back into the first equation. So we have 8 times negative 3 minus 2y equals negative 8. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. We're going to go ahead and add 24 to both sides. So we're going to have negative 2y equals 16. Yep. Divide both sides by negative 2. And y equals negative 8. So our ordered pair is going to be negative 3, negative 8. All right, you guys are going to go ahead and do these. When you finish, you can start your homework. Homework is on the board, and we will go over these at the beginning of class tomorrow.